and facilitating him. And now Enforcement Directorate has now opposed his petition seeking a transfer to another jail, because remember that Sukesh Chandrasekhar had made a lot of claims about how he's being threatened by jail officials at the behest of Satyendra Jain and also at the behest of Tihar DG. And later on he was transferred to Rohini jail, and now again he's alleged that he's being harassed at the Mandoli jail. And now the Enforcement Directorate has come in with a reply against this petition that has been moved by Sukesh Chandrasekhar, making its case good, saying first of all that this particular petition that's been filed by Sukesh Chandrasekhar is an attempt to further his criminal syndicate in another jail. It has been said that the petitioner is abusing the process in August forum to further his criminal syndicate, and in order to achieve the same, baseless allegations have been leveled against the jail officials and the respondents here. In fact, it's also been said that the present petition file is the repeat misendeavors in another jail and to exploit the loopholes where jail authorities aren't familiar with his innovative methods of conmanship. The ED basically is trying to say that he's somebody who's very, very smart, and if at all he's been transferred to another jail, he would use those particular jails and the loopholes of those jail officials in order to further his criminal syndicate. Apart from that, it's also been said that ulterior motive to get Sukesh out of the Mandoli jail is to enable him to set up a fresh nexus inside another jail. So somewhere or the other, big allegations coming in. In fact, details of the SIT report have also been mentioned. Remember that a SIT was formed in order to check up as to what kind of a criminal syndicate was Sukesh Chandrasekhar having, and all of these allegations were being tested.
So the ED in its detailed affidavit has now opposed all of that, making some more allegations. For the moment, Ananya, thank you so much. With that, it's a wrap from me on this edition of Nation at 5. Zaka Jacob joins the next.
The attack on the Tarn Taran police station is casting a long shadow of the security situation in the state of Punjab. Today, the IG of police there has confirmed that at least 4 people who were involved in the planning and the execution of this attack have been detained. According to the IG, all the people involved in this attack in Tarn Taran are now in police custody. And thank God there were no casualties in this attack, but there is a larger question which looms out there. We have seen repeated attacks since the Bhagwant Mann government came to power earlier this year, whether it was the Mohali State Intelligence Headquarters attack, to the killing of Shiv Sena leader Sudhir Suri. You had a businessman who was killed in broad daylight in Nakodar. Is the security situation in Punjab slipping away from the hands of the state? All right, let's go straight across to our guest, Tuhin Sinha, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us. Ehbab Singh Grewal is spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab. Hemant Atri, senior journalist, and Shashikant is former DGP of Punjab. Mr. Grewal, let me start with you first. Now we have intelligence information that on the day of the blast, this was of course carried out by the Rinda group, and on the day of the blast, 2 of his associates, Satta and Landa, spoke not just among themselves, but also to people who were reportedly inside the Gandiola jail. Aren't you worried about the security situation if a known gangster who's sitting on the other side of the border is carrying out such repeated attacks, whether it was the Mohali Intelligence Headquarters attack and now what happened in Tarn Taran?
Worried, yes, Mr. Jacob. Good evening. But the things are under control. We have kept a lid on the situation. I say that with full confidence because as far as this particular attack is concerned, ADGP counterintelligence has been camping in Amritsar for the past few days now. And the 2 main masterminds behind this have also been identified, and they'll be caught soon as well. And more importantly, about the overall situation in Punjab, sir, the thing is that the Punjab police has a lid on the situation. Very unfortunately, the Punjab police had to get its hands dirty. Of course, it's the police jobs, but 2 of our people have been martyred fighting this menace. And once this kind of thing starts, I'm sure the Punjab police is a thoroughly professional force. And
Mr. Grewal, you know, the Home Minister of India was in Punjab, I think last month. He had raised a concern about what is going on in Punjab. Unfortunately, the Chief Minister of Punjab was seen more campaigning in Gujarat than he was apprising himself of the security situation. Isn't it a legitimate question that the Punjabi voter is today asking? We voted for security and safety and ridding Punjab of the drug problem, the corruption problem. But today, look at the number of incidents, terror-related incidents that have happened in Punjab. I outlined what happened in Mohali. I outlined what happened in
Yes.
Patiala with the Shiv Sena leader there. Also, what has happened in Tarn Taran over the weekend. The businessman who was abducted and killed in broad daylight in Nakodar. Surely something is up. Surely something is of grave concern in the security situation in Punjab.
Of course, there is, Mr. Jacob. And as I said earlier, this businessman in Nakoda, the poor guy who died, and a policeman also died protecting him. So the police is on their toes. Yes, the Home Minister raised this situation, but if you look at the numbers, I'm so glad and thankful to the media that now these things have been brought out. This situation is being discussed, and this matter has been brought out into the public. Punjabis have been worried for quite a few years now, sir. And more importantly, the thing now is that Mr. Man and the police has been given a free rein, and I'm sure the police panelists on this debate will be able to concur, and they are being given all the support that is required. And the most important thing here, Mr. Jacob, I'm sorry I have to keep repeating it, is that the political patronage given to these elements has finally gone. So this is just the last hurrah, if you say so.
We'll see if that is true and whether there is going to be a visible decrease of these attacks. But Tuhin Sinha, the point that Mr. Grewal is making is that A, Punjab is a border state, it's a sensitive state, you have to understand how the dynamics work there, and B, you have an enemy who is inimical to you, even this Rinda, who is sitting across the border. You have to be patient in this fight against terror. You can't seek to make political capital every time there is an attack in a border state like Punjab.
Well, good evening, Zaka. Good evening to all your viewers. From the time that the Aam Aadmi Party took charge of Punjab, there has been a constant deterioration in the law and order situation. In fact, to be honest with you, the deterioration started 6 months before that because Channi was equally an irresponsible CM. The biggest security scare, the biggest security let-up in the Prime Minister's security happened during Channi's tenure. And that is where, apart from the Aam Aadmi Party, I would equally blame the Congress for dismantling Amrinder Singh, who was, who had kept a tab on many of these, who was privy to, who had kept a tab on many of these, blooming terrorist activities in the state and had been handling it well. But when it comes to the Aam Aadmi Party, there are two reasons why, there has been a massive deterioration in the law and order situation in the last few months. One is an absentee CM, while in the last 2 months he was in Gujarat, understandably, to campaign for the Aam Aadmi Party. But even otherwise, dealing aggressively or dealing with Khalistani elements does not seem to be anywhere on his agenda. Secondly, though it's a contentious topic, and I am not even referring to, the remarks made by Kumar Vishwas, but fact is that, Aam Aadmi Party has been an irresponsible party. I will give you two very specific examples. Last, 6 months ago, they had to dismiss their social media in charge of Himachal Pradesh because they had not done due diligence, and suddenly it was found out that in the past he had done many pro-Khalistani tweets.
Tuhin, one second. You have a man named Rinda who's sitting across the border. You have a man named Satta who I believe is somewhere in Europe, possibly Portugal or Spain. What is the government of India doing about bringing these guys to justice?
The Indian security apparatus is completely seized of the matter. These things are not discussed publicly, but I'm sure the National Security Advisor is seized of the matter and is doing everything possible to bring them.
Let me go to Mr. Shashikant. Mr. Shashikant, there are people drawing grave comparisons of the situation as it existed in Punjab in the early 80s and so on. The Khalistan link with ISI, with other groups that are operating from Punjab or Canada or other parts of the world, that is now clearly unraveling in front of all of us, including these attacks that we saw, the one in Tarn Taran, the one at the Mohali State Intelligence Headquarters before that. Is there a feeling in Punjab that the security situation is slowly but surely getting out of hand? You heard from Mr. Grewal, the AAP spokesperson, saying that A, political patronage is gone, and B, the police is being given a free hand. Do you see that on the ground?
Look, certainly the situation is certainly getting out of the hand. Till some time back, Punjab had a very serious nexus between the drug smugglers, a section of politicians, and a section of policemen. Now that unfortunately has graduated onto the nexus between drug smugglers, terrorists, and gangsters. So this is the kind of improvement that I see in the law and order scenario in Punjab. Sorry for saying this thing. And now it's becoming more and more clear. Today I was reading some report. They were saying that 2 of these RPGs, rocket launchers or whatever they are, bazookas or whatever they are, have been used till now, single shot things. One in Mohali and second here in Sarhali police station. And the reports, intelligence circles say that there are 2 more such propellers, such 2 more bazookas or RPGs in circulation. That means that there is a grave failure. How did they come? And I'm sure that they were certainly brought in through some drones and powerful drones at the matter, maybe the Chinese or whatever it is. I don't know about it. Situation is certainly serious, but again, like some gentleman was saying, it's about time the government of India needs to take action. Seek for justice are claimed responsibility. That means it's clearly inciting violence. This is the time that to take this matter at the appropriate quarters, maybe with the United States the government or whatever it is. Situation is certainly extremely serious, and it needs constant watch, not only by the security forces, police, as also the government of India.
Okay, I'll come to that. You know, someone like a Pannu sitting in London or Canada, wherever he's sitting, and openly claiming that he or his organization carried out a terrorist attack, and then those governments doing nothing about it, the government of India not being able to impress upon them to extradite this man. But let me get Hemant Attri on a more basic ground issue, and that is that the Tarn Taran attack, as Mr. Shashikant was saying, is also suspected to be part of the same module that did the Mohali attack a few months ago. In fact, even the weapons consignment that came, we're given to understand is part of the same consignment. Doesn't it worry you that you had an attack in Mohali a few months ago, you have an attack today in Tarn Taran over the weekend, and that module is still very much active in Punjab, and the consignment, the weapons that came in that consignment through drone or whatever, have still not been existed. There are at least 2 RPGs that are still out there which have not been located for and accounted for by the police.
Certainly, Zaka, it's a really worrisome situation, but there are certain more angles to it. First of all, the RPG which has been used in Tarn Taran, it bears a mark of, Russian, it is a Russian made. So once it is Russian made, then it must have come through, Mujahideen working in Afghanistan, then through ISI and via drone to India. There are 2 aspects to it. One is the Punjab Police, and the second is the national agencies, intelligence agencies, RAW, and so many other places, and so many other agencies. Now the thing is, in the first place, how did it came? It came by drone. What was the intelligence of Punjab Police as well as the RAW and other agencies doing? One. Number 2, these kind of things are repeatedly being claimed by the organizations, as you rightly pointed out, sitting outside India. And what SFJ has claimed today, the people who have been rounded up by Punjab Police today, SFJ has openly given a call that whosoever has been detained or arrested by police in this RPG attack, they will be fully, they will be fully paid for their legal expenses by none other than SFJ itself. Meaning thereby that an organization which is located in US or Britain for that matter, they are openly instigating terrorist activities in India. So the onus now comes on the government of India also as to how to act against them right away. Because see, one is academic thing that these people claim to be doing that for Khalistan, this and that. They keep on doing. But now they are openly claiming for a terrorist act. And furthermore, what he has said today, this is more shocking. He has announced an award of $10,000, US dollar 10,000, for anybody who is giving the travel details of Punjab Chief Minister, who is shortly likely to go to Europe as well as North American countries as well as Canada. So he is not only threatening the Punjab peace, he is also threatening the Punjab Chief Minister as to they will take revenge when he comes out, and somebody giving information on that.
Okay.
This is today's story.
I'll ask Tuhin about this. But Tuhin, you have a Pannu sitting in London or in Canada, wherever he is, openly claiming that his organization carried out these terrorist acts. Not just the one that happened in Tarn Taran, but previous ones as well. What has the government of India done to try and bring this man and make him face justice? You have so-called SFJ carrying out Khalistan referendums in parts of Canada. What is the government of India doing to tell the Canadians that this is unacceptable? Punjab has and will always be an integral part of India, and no amount of referendums is going to take that away.
Zaka, when it comes to foreign funded terror, we have dealt with it successfully in Kashmir, and we are going to do it in Punjab. To give you the example of Kashmir, from 5,000 overt terrorists in 2014, there are less than 100 now. The problem with Punjab is you just named SFJ. Now, SFJ chief operative Gurdial Singh was campaigning for one of the political candidates in 2017, and that political candidate went on to become an MLA. The problem over here, without making it sound political, is the political support, is the political shelter which some of these sections get from one or two political parties in Punjab. When it comes to dealing with foreign funded terror, we have shown the way in Kashmir, and we will deal with it. Whether it is Canada, does Trudeau accept? Does Trudeau publicly show any support? He does not show any support. So Trudeau also, if he has been providing support, it is very covert. It is very
Okay.
it comes to a certain chicanery, and that chicanery is being dealt with at the diplomatic level.
No, Mr. Grewal, the fact of the matter is that you can't say that political patronage is completely gone, because even during the campaign, not just this election, but even in the previous election, there were questions raised about funding of political parties, whether money is coming from outside, the source of that funding, whether those funders have any connections with Khalistan and so on and so forth. So to say that political patronage is gone across Punjab to these gangsters or rowdy elements or Khalistani separatists in its entirety, that would be an overstatement.
No, sir, actually not. You know why? The reason behind this is that Mr. Shashikant has just said it. Political patronage by the ruling party is gone, by the ruling politicians is gone. As far as funding for elections is concerned, our books are open, our funds are open, and the government of India is free to check anything. Number two, as far as these Khalistani elements are concerned, they have no place in Punjabi society. Unfortunately, ISI was given a free run for 4.5 years when they were sitting in the CM's residence of Punjab. We sorry, we couldn't do anything about that. But now, as India heads the G20 now, I'm sure with the stature of the Prime Minister being so high among world leaders, I'm sure he can get one or two idiots like Pannu back to India. And as far as the referendum 2020 is concerned, there are about 1.5 million Sikhs in Punjab, not in Canada. Not even 50 to 60,000 voted for that. So these kinds of dramas, and he does this to collect money from people. And if he is saying that he will sponsor or he will pay the legal fees, how can he? How will the government of India allow him to send money from Canada to India? That will not be done. What I'm trying to say, sir, is that they must be, or they are still politicians in Punjab who want to use these gangsters, who want to use these nexuses, but they are certainly not from the ruling party, and the ruling party is totally against anybody who is
so
trying
if
to
you are
divide
saying
India.
that they are from opposition parties, what is your government doing about it? Are you exposing the political nexus?
Exactly.
Mr. Shashikant was talking about how there's now a nexus between drug dealers, terrorists, and the political patronage that they're getting. Your party came to power saying you will abolish all of this. You got 93 seats. What have you done in the last 6 months to abolish this political patronage?
What we've done is that we've got very close relatives of a very senior Akali leader who was involved in the Sidhu Moosewala case. We've got a few more people with political links who have these gangster connections or the drug connections. We are going after the big kingpins. I can give you a whole list of things, but the bigger picture here, Mr. Jacob, is this. The bigger picture is this, that once the political patronage is the bloodline of these organizations. Once that is gone, they will die, they will be killed, but it will take some time. Now, in that time, there will be a bit of mischief mongering. There will be people who will try to disturb the atmosphere, but as far as we are concerned, we know that the central agencies are cooperating with us. There's no blame game over there. But what we say is that if you need to take a few more steps, we would welcome them if the central agencies take that. And whenever we require their help, we ask them for help.
Mr. Shashikant, you look at what happened, I think it was in Patiala back in June, for the anniversary of the Blue Star operation. There were pro-Khalistan groups who were taking out marches there. Of course, these happen every year, but this time around, there was far more aggressiveness, far more sloganeering. We also saw the two groups coming to blows there. And a few weeks after that, you had the incident of this Shiv Sena leader, Mr. Suri, being killed there. So to say that, yes, there is a problem in people like Rinda and others, directing this, puppeteering this from across the border. I'll get to that. But more than that, even on ground in Punjab, to say that all is well would be far from the truth.
I'll agree to that. All is not well in Punjab. I'll call it a kind of low-intensity warfare that these terrorists and smugglers and gangsters, they are indulging into. So this is, I'll call it okay, low intensity or high intensity, whatever it is. I take it as a war, and it's about time that the agencies take proper action, and that includes Punjab Police. I fail to understand that. Look, I'll tell you one thing. These two attacks which took place, one at Mohali and second at Sarhali, these attacks were there, and these weapons which they used are powerful military-grade weapons. They could destroy the entire building, but they caused just little damage, which shows that the guys who were handling them were not really experts.
All right, we'll try and see if we can establish that audio link back with Mr. Shashikant. But Hemant Attri, again, you know, it does raise questions about the intelligence, both at the state police level as well as the central agencies level, that you have an attack that happened in Mohali a few months ago, same modus operandi being repeated in Tarn Taran, and as Mr. Shashikant was saying, the consignment seems to be the same. What should both state intelligence and central intelligence do to try and get a heads up on incidents such as this? I mean, I look at what the new Pakistan Army chief said when he went to Pakistan-occupied Kashmir right after being sworn in as the new Army chief. And I'm convinced that this ceasefire that's been holding for the better part of the last couple of years, that is going to be under very much a lot of pressure. And you're going to see attacks not just in Kashmir, you're possibly going to see ISI sponsoring attacks in Punjab as well.
Certainly, Zaka, they are already trying to shift the whole terrorist activities to Punjab. That is amply clear as far as you see 6 months back. 6 months back, there was a terrorist attack on Mohali intelligence headquarters, and now again the same modus operandi, as you rightly pointed out. But the thing is, there is one more question. Of course, there is no confusion over it that there should be a better coordination between the central agencies as well as the state agencies. I want to put up a specific other point also, which needs to be mentioned here. See, all these gangsters, narcotic people, and everybody who are involved into smuggling and everything, they have lost the fear of law and police, which was never the case earlier. There was always a fear of law and police as far as Punjab is concerned, because Punjab police is such a valiant force who took the terrorism head on for almost a decade. What has gone wrong with them? See, there are many black ships in Punjab as of now also. One of the killers in Sidhu Moosewala case, who was in the custody of CIA in Punjab, he simply ran away with the connivance of that concerned SHO CIA. Now, so this is not a one isolated case. There may be many more. So Punjab, while dealing with all these terrorist activities, they need to do one more thing. They need to have an operation cleanup in their force also, so that the people who are involved with these gangsters, smugglers, and all these criminal syndicates, they need to be taken to task. And that is also one way of putting fear into
certainly,
the
no doubt about it. If a criminal sitting inside jail is talking to a most wanted terrorist across the border, surely that can't happen without the knowledge of, even jail officials. That's what happened in the aftermath of this Tarn Taran attack. But let me ask Tuhin Sinha this. The point is, Tuhin, you know the international tentacles, whether it is in Canada, whether it is in UK, whether it is in Pakistan. You have the new Pakistan Army chief. His words seem rather ominous. He doesn't seem to be of the same ilk as General Bajwa, wanting the ceasefire to succeed. What is government of India doing in a particularly important year? India is going to be hosting the G20 this year. We can ill afford to have the kind of attacks that we saw at the Tarn Taran police station over the weekend.
Well, there are only two ways to deal with terror. One is, firming up your security, which we have done, to my understanding. Yes, there have been a couple of lapses in Punjab for which the state government needs to take more onus. The other is, to corner the concerned country diplomatically. We've done that to Pakistan, and sooner than later that will happen in the case of Canada also. But like I said, Canada has been more surreptitious. It has been shrewder in the tacit support which it will be providing. It is not overt like Pakistan, and that is what makes the diplomatic action far more important over here. Now, I have with me a report published in a very leading news publication dated 5th June 2017, and we need to nail it on the show. The heading is AAP's Khalistan connection exposed again. New photo shows banned Sikh bodies chief campaigning for party MLA. The MLA in question is Jai Kishan Singh Rodi, who was probably the MLA in the previous term. Now, what action did Aam Aadmi Party take again against somebody like that. And we have seen that replicate itself in Delhi also with people like Tahir Hussain. So I think political parties need to be far more responsible over here, especially
All right,
in a
Mr. Grewal, I'll give you a chance to respond. Final 30 seconds. I've got to wrap up after that. Yeah.
So the final thing is this. Lots of NRIs came the last time. We are on our toes, number one. Number two, yes, there's a big operation going on inside the Punjab Police to get their act together. And number three, I would reiterate, if they feel that they can take advantage of this new government, they have a new thing coming. They are going to have, they've suffered a bloody nose and we're going to wring their necks once and for all. Now you'll see the results very soon.
Okay, we'll see. We'll await the results of what you're claiming is a massive operation against these elements. For now, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much to all our guests. Well, it's another sunrise in Tamil Nadu. Udayanidhi Stalin, the son of Chief Minister M.K. Stalin and grandson of Dravida icon M. Karunanidhi, is all set to become a minister in the state cabinet. The expansion could happen as early as later this week. Udayanidhi Stalin gets the elevation about 18 months after Stalin became chief minister. Udayanidhi became a lawmaker for the very first time in May 2021 when he contested the election for the first time. So how is the DMK sort of going to take on the criticism that will come this government's way, that this is promoting dynastic rule and this is promoting, family politics, as it were? After all, Udayanidhi Stalin, had he not been Stalin's son, he will not have been elevated to a minister, and that too in his first term as an MLA.
Well, both Chief Minister Stalin and Udayanidhi Stalin have time and again addressed this question of dynastic politics followed by the DMK. And Udayanidhi Stalin also, when he was asked about how he got an MLA ticket to contest in May 2021, said that he's been working for the party just like any other party cadre has worked, and that's why he's been working for the party ever since he was a child, and that's why there is no dynastic politics. It's the work that he's done and the contribution he's done for the party that in fact has made him play a crucial role as far as his elevation in the party is concerned. And this time around, 18 months, more than 18 months since Stalin took over, while the cabinet reshuffle is all set to take place in this week, most probably on the 14th of December, Udayanidhi Stalin will be elevated, and he is all set to become the youth and sports minister, is what sources confirm, and it's likely to happen on the 14th of December. However, opposition, both the ADMK and the BJP, have time and again criticized Udayanidhi's elevation and Chief Minister Stalin for promoting his family, calling the DMK a family-run party.
Tell us a little bit more for our national audience about Udayanidhi Stalin. He has been a film star. He's been a hero in many movies. He's also a big producer there in the Tamil film industry. So obviously now that he's become an MLA and is likely to be elevated as a minister, he is now being groomed as the potential successor to Stalin at some point?
Absolutely. That's what senior party leaders tell us. So in 2019, Udayanidhi Stalin became the secretary of the DMK youth wing. So that was the first time he was given a bigger post in the party while he was actively campaigning for his father and his grandfather before. But 2019 is when he got his first position in the party as the secretary of the DMK youth wing. And once again in November this year, he was renamed as the secretary of the DMK youth wing. So this was the only position that Udayanidhi Stalin had held so far as his role in the party is concerned. And in 2021, he contested from Chepauk constituency and won. Now he's all set to become a minister, while the government will go for a cabinet reshuffle later this week. Talking about the movies, he's done a lot of movies. He's also a producer, and that's also something that he continues to do even after he was elected as an MLA.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Thanks very much, Purnima, for joining us with those details. So a sunrise literally there for the DMK. That's their party symbol. But Udayanidhi Stalin, the son of M.K. Stalin, the chief minister, likely to be brought into the cabinet as Youth and Sports Affairs Minister. All right, let's move on to another piece of breaking news that's coming in. Former JNU student leader and accused in the 2020 Delhi riots case, Umar Khalid, has been granted interim bail of 1 week to attend his sister's wedding. Umar Khalid would begin, his bail in fact would begin from the 23rd of December and would end on the 30th. Remember, Khalid had got bail in a related case a few weeks ago, but in the main Delhi 2020 riots case, he continues to be in jail. Anvit has more details on this. So, Anvit, what are the conditions that the court has laid down while it granted this interim bail to Umar Khalid?
Yeah, Zaka, so this bail will be valid for a period of 1 week, and he has been granted bail on the condition of that he had, his representative had told court that it is his sister's wedding for which he is seeking the bail, and the court has said that the bail begins on 23rd of December and that Khalid will have to surrender back on 30th of December. Now, the judge has said that this bail is subject to conditions and that he'll have to surrender back in time, but today in the court when the arguments took place, it was Advocate Kuldeep Paez who represented Khalid while the Special Public Prosecutor Amit Prasad were arguing for Delhi Police. And as you know, previously it was on December 3rd that Umar Khalid had been and the co-accused Khalid Saifi they were both discharged in yet another case that was pertaining to 2020 riot. But very important to mention here that Khalid still is one of the accused stated by Delhi Police in Delhi riots larger conspiracy case, which is still undergoing trial. So that is why the court said that this bail is subject to certain conditions, but the main condition is that on 30th of December he'll have to surrender back and the trial will again start.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. Anvit Srivastava, many thanks for joining us. So interim bail to attend his sister's wedding for former JNU student leader Umar Khalid. That's a wrap. Anusha joining you with the biggest exclusive.
Good evening, hello and welcome to this special broadcast. I'm Anusha Soni. It was in December 2012 that the brutal gang rape and murder of Nirbhaya had shook the conscience of an entire nation, leading to widespread protests, tighter laws against sexual assault in the country. It was a moment of awakening for our nation. A special fund was set up by the Union Home Ministry called the Nirbhaya Fund to aid the cause of justice for India's daughters, who are survivors of heinous sexual assault, and broadly speaking, to create safer public spaces for women. In all these years, about 10 years, the Nirbhaya Fund has been underutilized. If you look at the national figures, if you look at that fund, the manner in which it has been utilized by different states, only about 30 to 40% has been used by any state government since the fund was set up by the Union Home Ministry. Now, Uddhav Camp Shiv Sena MP Priyanka Chaturvedi has alleged that several vehicles that were procured by the Mumbai police under this very fund, Nirbhaya Fund, which were meant to be used for fighting crimes against women, patrolling, they are instead being used for the legislators of the ruling Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena faction, which is part of the ruling coalition in the Maharashtra government. While there may be a political point being scored there, the allegation is not without substance. Most states across the country have failed to utilize the fund. Is this weak political will, lack of commitment to the cause of women's safety, or a complete betrayal of the sentiment that united an entire nation for an equal and safe country for women? Our top focus this hour.
Diverted these cars that came out of Nirbhaya funds, as private security vehicles for those rebel MLAs.
Well, who is betraying the cause of women's safety in our country? There are various funds in this country that lie underutilized, but this is not just another fund. It was a fund which was set up after a national uproar. There was a cause for women's safety that was finally taken up. Nirbhaya's fund, the misuse storm, who's betraying India's daughters? That's the key question we ask. Well, before we jump into the debate and also get you more voices